So check this out. We all had one of those friends that we thought they were real, and you've been rocking with them since what? High school, college, from your job, from Hollywood, and then you come to find out that your friend has her best friends, and they show you your true colors. What a coincidence, right? So shout out to Anna Soft. I haven't reacted to her videos in a while, so let's go ahead and get this out.
Really beat up their friend for clout. Like,
I
grabbed
bet.
her, jumped her, filmed it, and posted it online like it was another challenge. Olivia Brown and Hailey Disler, both 18, are now at the center of a firestorm after videos surfaced showing them brutally attacking. But things didn't end there. The next day, Evie got a text from Olivia and Hailey. They said they wanted to talk, to apologize. They invited her to a house in Caseyville. Evie, maybe still holding on to hope that things could be patched up, decided to go. But when she got there, she quickly realized it was a setup.
They both just started being.
And this sounds like straight out of a Lifetime movie where you be friends with people and you think they were cool at first until like a few months later they started doing some hokey pokey sticky wicky mess, and all of a sudden they decided to show you who they really are, and they're not your friends. They just want to use you to satisfy their personal needs, and we all know where this is going, right? This is some typical Lifetime shit that I've seen all the time, and it's kind of obvious to me that every time when you meet that one person, okay, cool, fine, they're great, but a few months into this, you'll see a different side of them that you've never seen before. And if they turn out to be thugs, criminals, and evil monsters like these people are, then it's your fault for try to make friends with people and try to see if they're gonna do good things and great things like you're doing. But that's not how life works. You can't be friends with people that are just not in the right minds. You gotta make smart decisions and the best decisions in your life to be around good people that have been in your life since childhood and forever. Because whatever new friends you got, you better make sure you do some backgrounds on the people, because 9 times out of 10, they're not who you see they thought they were.
Spontaneous attack. According to Evie's mom, Lara McCord, the girls had allegedly lured her there on purpose, even going so far as to set up a camera to film the whole thing.
And they lured her there and had
Just
a
being
camera set
breastfed,
up
girl.
so that they could videotape them both seeing her.
Hailey covered my mouth like this from behind me and was telling me that if I screamed, she would end my life right there.
It's not
Oh,
clear
shit.
how long the entire ordeal lasted, but in one of the videos that later surfaced on Snapchat, you can see what looks like Olivia placing a phone on the ground, angling it toward a basketball court. It's dark, but the
Try
outline
to
of someone
use it for
dragging
clout,
another
of
person
course.
comes into view. A voice cries out, and it's Evie. What follows is disturbing. You can hear her pleading as blows rain down. She calls them by name. Evie knows exactly who is hurting her. Despite the intensity of the situation, she doesn't fight back. At one point, the girl believed to be Olivia picks the phone back up, still recording, and for a second, it seems like the attack might be over. But then the other attacker, referred to in the footage as Hailey, keeps going. She continues yelling at Evie, and more hits can be heard landing. Evie's voice gets louder, her cries more panicked, and you can sense Olivia beginning to panic, worried someone might intervene.
No, Hailey, we got it. We got it.
Shut the f up. Which one? I can't hear you. I can't. Come on, find me.
No, we did it.
You guys dropped me. You fight one of us one-on-one. Or it's not done. You fight one of us one-on-one. I'll let you get your shoe on because I'm not body ass.
Shorty's now go. Go. I'm telling her to go.
I can't see me. I can't live near me.
You can see me though. You can see me. Olivia, stop. No, you stop.
Eventually, Olivia can be heard trying to de-escalate, saying, "We made her scream, it's over." But as they finally walk away, both girls issue a final threat, warning Evie never to disrespect them again. After the brutal beating, Evie Berentz shared a raw, emotional video from inside her car. She was still reeling, physically and emotionally.
Yeah, I bet.
Her mascara streaked from tears, a cut visible on her
God
neck. You
damn.
could still hear the panic lingering in her voice as she tried to process what had just happened.
Bro, I don't know what to do, bro. Crazy, bro. My whole head is like pounding.
She later described the extent of her injuries in an interview. Injuries that paint a clear
Oh,
picture
shit.
of just how vicious this attack was.
My whole head has bumps everywhere. My leg was scraped up, and my lip was like just a little bit busted, and I do have a bruise under my eye, and this eye was bloodshot red.
But as horrifying as that incident was, it wasn't an isolated one.
That looked like attempted
Disturbing
murder.
story out of the Metro East. 2 teenage girls are now charged in connection with multiple violent assaults in Madison County.
On April 23rd, both Olivia Brown and Haley Ditzer were arrested after yet another teenage girl came forward. She hasn't
Oh,
been publicly
shit.
identified.
And they got it
but
on
her
video,
account
too?
Bears disturbing
What the what?
similarities to Evie's. According to court records, the second attack happened just 5 days earlier on April 18th. The teens allegedly showed up at this girl's house, tricked her into coming outside, and then dragged her to a wooded area.
Oh,
Once
my
there, they
God.
reportedly beat her, punching and kicking her across her
Yo,
face,
these shorties are
stomach,
crashing out
arms,
like
and
crazy
legs,
mode.
just like Evie.
Like, what I don't understand is that if you don't like people disrespecting you, why feel the need to beat the brakes out of them? Like, it's bad enough if you already crashed out on this individual, but why do it to another victim? It's like y'all think y'all own the world, like you own the place, you own people. Like, nobody is obligated to respect you or treat you as such because you're this and that. Like, come on, bro. Like, you got to be better than that.
Wouldn't have screamed or fought back, I know they would have killed me.
And honestly, she might not be wrong. On this channel, we've covered a lot of stories where bullying goes too far, but rarely does it escalate like this outside of school
Yeah, it turns
and
into a
with
murder.
this level of coordination. So here's the thing. Olivia and Haley weren't just two girls who just snapped one day. According to what I found on their social media, they have a whole vibe, and not in a good way. These two didn't just act wild in private, they documented it. They would post videos of themselves drinking, smoking, laughing about fights like it was just another TikTok trend. They even called themselves evil twins, and honestly, that's not even the most unsettling part. Olivia once posted, "The devil couldn't reach me, so he made me an overthinker who self-sabotages everything good that comes into my life." Now that
Ooh.
sounds deep, and
She said it. You know what I'm saying? The devil was busy in that video because them two right there, them little demons in that video, they try to take her out. But little did they know that that video was going to have them in jail for a long time. Because, like, what's the point if you even try to, like, make a video if you really try to fight people that disrespect you? Like, this is not WWE. This is real life. And I will bet you, since they did not have a father figure in their life that made them do stuff like this, and I can tell just based on their demeanor and their reaction and how they chose to approach in a different route. You know what I'm saying? Because when fatherless kids act out this way, they can either end up in two places: under 6 feet and in jail. Because in jail, you're not gonna survive for a very long time. But under 6 feet, you're dead for life. And I believe that's exactly what's gonna happen if there's not any justice for that individual who just got beat up by these two maniacs. Then of course it's gonna be a problem, because at this point the justice system is already broken. So I already know what's gonna happen.
through felony assaults. One commenter even tried to snap her out of it, writing, "Think about your actions before you do them. Self-sabotage isn't cute." And they were so right. Because let's be real, Olivia and Hailey weren't just doing this out of anger. They were doing it for attention, for clout. That's why they recorded the attack on Evie and posted it on Snapchat.
And if they get that clout,
like,
it won't be for the wrong reasons.
For the feed instead of literal evidence of a crime. But what they didn't expect? Evie flipping the script. She posted the video on her own Facebook page and it went viral. People were outraged, and rightfully so. The internet demanded justice. Evie's mother, Lara, didn't stay silent either. She launched a change.org petition, which quickly racked up over 7,000 signatures. In it, she wrote, "We, the undersigned, demand that in the St. Clair County State's Attorney's Office, led by James Gormick, pursue the full extent of justice for the brutal, premeditated assault committed by Hailey Ditzler and Olivia Brown against Evie Barretts on April 21st, 2025. Evie Barretts, an 18-year-old young woman, was lured under false pretenses, ambushed, and violently assaulted by Hailey Ditzler and Olivia Brown. The assault was planned, premeditated, and carried out with malicious intent. During the attack, Evie was punched, pulled by the hair, repeatedly struck, and forcibly dragged across concrete by her hair, causing road rash injuries. Her head was slammed into the concrete, inflicting serious physical harm, including a documented concussion. Beyond the devastating physical injuries, Evie now suffers severe emotional trauma, nightmares, anxiety, and a persistent fear for her safety. She also made it very clear what justice should look like. Full prosecution, a public trial, sentencing that reflects the brutality. No plea deals, no probation.
And just like I thought, imagine you getting your brakes beat out of you by people who you thought they were your friends, and all of a sudden they get to walk away scot-free because there is no accountability for female abusers, right? And I've said this so many times in my videos, in my TikToks. If you've seen it, go watch it, go check it out, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. These type of people that is known for getting away with a lot of crimes without being held accountable for their own actions. It don't matter how old you are, what race you are, accountability is kryptonite to these people. This is what white trash looks like. I'm serious. This is exactly what white trash looks like. No accountability, beating up people for clout. And I can tell of how the justice system is going to end up becoming. Literally.
You can plan an ambush, record the whole thing, post it online for views, and still skip away without consequences. That is not justice. That's a message, and it's the wrong one. Now, let's get into the actual charges, because this is where people are side-eyeing the system real hard.
Just this afternoon, those felony mob action charges were filed against Hailey Ditzler and Olivia Brown after they allegedly attacked multiple women across Madison and St. Clair County.
So right now, both Olivia and Hailey have been charged with one
just
count
smiling,
of
don't
mob
give two
action.
shits about what they
but
did
here's
was wrong.
The kicker. That is only for the second victim. There are no official charges yet for what they allegedly did to Evie. So what even is mob action? In Illinois, it means two or more people using violence together, knowingly or recklessly, in a way that disturbs the public peace. It's been on the books since the 90s, not new.
Oh, wow.
But it does come with some legal wiggle room. Here's where things could get tricky. The law says that they have to act in concert, meaning that they were on the same page, had a shared plan. So let's say that the defense argues that Hailey and Olivia had separate beefs and acted impulsively, didn't really coordinate. Boom, no mob action charge, and it starts looking shaky. And yes, it is a technicality, but courts have tossed out cases on stuff like this before. Now, if they are convicted, sentencing could go a few ways. They're both 18, and if this is their first offense, some folks might expect counseling, probation, maybe community service. But if their courtroom energy matches their mugshots, you know, that smug, we don't care look, a judge might not be so forgiving. A lack of remorse could push that sentence way up. Judges do notice attitude. And what about that video of Evie's assault? Can it be used in court for the new charges? There's this rule, Rule 404B, if you want to get legal.
It's not about context, not character. And many emphasis on the Rule 404B.
Bruh.
Legal that straight up blocks prosecutors from dragging in someone's past behavior just to make them look guilty. Like, oh look, they've done shady stuff before, so they probably did this too. That won't fly. But, and this is a big but, there is a loophole.
There are permitted uses when you can bring in that evidence, and one of those permitted uses is for MO, or modus operandi, when there is kind of a signature of the way that they do things. And that could fit the bill here, and that would be pretty devastating on the case with Miss Ditzler and Miss Brown if that were allowed to come into evidence.
Basically, if Olivia and Haley pulled the exact same trick on Evie as they allegedly did on this other girl, lured her out, ambushed her, filmed it, and posted it online, that could be enough to convince a judge that this isn't just coincidence, it is a signature move. And guess what? They don't even need to press charges in Evie's case for her to take the stand. That Snapchat video, it could absolutely become part of the evidence, but it's not automatic. This would go through a pre-trial hearing where a judge decides if it's really relevant or if prosecutors are just trying to paint the girls as violent for vibes. If the court thinks the similarities are strong enough, it could get in. But make no mistake, it is gonna be a legal fight. And then there's Evie's testimony, which might not land the way that you think. One defense attorney already pointed out that the fact that she filmed herself right after the beating could hurt her credibility. To some people, it could.
I call BS on that, because they decided to film themselves beating her up first. So after the incident, she wants to document her experience while being attacked and abused to show the courts of what happened to her. So how was that clout chasing and her? You know what I'm saying? What? This doesn't make any sense. How is it clout chasing when a victim like her is filming her experience, talking about what really happened, showing the video of herself, cuts on her knees, bruises on her forehead, cuts on her lip, and marks all over her body because of what happened? Then you definitely need to show the courts what really happened. Because without any videos or evidence, they can walk away scot-free without any accountability whatsoever. Like, what is they talking about? Like, do you not want her to win the case or not?
She goes on, she's in her car and why are you just got beat up? Why are you doing that? It's a weird, there's kind of a weird
No, it's not weird.
With the youth.
But here's the twist. Once that video of Evie getting jumped went viral, the internet did what it always does. Dug up the past. People started calling Evie out, saying she used to be right there with Olivia and Haley doing the exact same thing when they were all friends. And to her credit, Evie didn't deny it. She owned up to her past and admitted that there are fight videos of her out there, and yes, she used to run with that same crew, but she drew a hard line. She says she's not like them and that she never took it that far.
Everyone I've fought in my life, I've made up with and are my friends now. For people to blame me for this is so hurtful. I've got with wrong crowds before and been in bad situations. Everyone makes mistakes. I would never hurt someone how these girls hurt me. I would never wish this on anyone. My fight videos are going to come out, of course. I've never hurt someone as bad as hurt people. Again, I'm friends with the girls I've fought. People are going to come at me and make up false things. I really hate it. I am not the same as Haley and Olivia. I've had a fight phase, but I've never been sick like them. I would never hurt someone like them. This hurts my mental health and I cannot take it.
But here's the catch. This might not work in her favor. A defense attorney weighed in and basically said that honesty, that could backfire, because if Evie takes the stand and those old videos surface, now we're in messy territory. That opens the door for the defense to flip the script. Suddenly, it's not just about what Olivia and Haley allegedly did to her. It's, well, look, she's done it before. And legally, that changes everything. Now, it's not just Rule 404B being used against the girls. It might be used against Evie. If there's footage of her being the aggressor.
You know, I would have liked to know if there's any footage of her beating people up too. If it ain't, then they got nothing on her, honestly.
She has a history of violence too. That could undercut her credibility and even shift the narrative towards self-defense or mutual combat.
Now you're talking about an entirely different ballgame as a defense lawyer. You don't fear the video as much because there's other video that they have to fear. And then that becomes a tool for plea negotiations.
After the attack, Evie did get a restraining order against her former friends. But according to her mom, she's still scared for her life.
She's very concerned that even with the order of protection, they will try to hunt her down and do worse to her.
And clearly, prosecutors aren't taking any chances either. In a motion filed with the court, they asked for special bail conditions to make sure that the girls don't contact their second victim. According to the motion,
the defendant has previously threatened or perpetrated physical abuse toward the victim in this matter. On information and belief, the defendant presents a continued threat to the victim, and the defendant may harm, harass, or interfere with the personal liberty of the victim during the pendency of this action.
Now, the court records indicate that the judge signed off on a standard and additional pretrial release rule. But Evie said that she doesn't think it'll be enough to stop them. And honestly, she's not wrong to worry. A defense attorney even said it straight up. Sometimes a restraining order is just that, a piece of paper. If someone really wants to ignore it, they will. Yes, it's meant to act as a barrier, a warning, but it's not a physical wall.
The protective order,
it will be now.
It's only as good as as a piece of paper. You can walk right through that protective order if you really want to. I think most of the time it does its job. The purpose of it, of course, is to prevent Ditzler and Brown from going after the victim again, the alleged victim again. And because if they do, they face new consequences.
So the law can respond if they violate it, but does it actually stop someone who's not thinking straight? That's the real question. Now, switching gears, because as you already know, once something like this hits the internet, things tend to get out of hand. And it's not just in views or reposts. People start taking matters into their own hands, sending threats and hate messages, and it didn't stop with Olivia and Haley. Their families started getting harassed too, like death threats. That's when Evie's mom, Lara, had to step in and basically beg the public to chill. Hello, everyone. I'm Evie Barrett's mom. I'm asking everyone to please stop threatening Haley Ditzler and Olivia Brown's families. They are getting death threats. Please just let the justice system handle this. Thank you, everyone. And she is absolutely right. The last thing anybody needs is more violence or revenge.
Well, there are two sides of what I noticed in this video about the death threats. One, it's one thing of the kids doing some heinous things on social media and in this world, and knowing that they get in big trouble for it. But it's another thing to be sending death threats to the families that have nothing to do with this whole thing. But to me, my overall opinion on this, if you did not teach your kids right from wrong about doing the wrong things in life, bullying, harassing, beating on people, crashing out on people, if they did not show you any kind of respect at all whatsoever, right? Is that if you didn't raise your child right from wrong, that it's obvious it's your fault for not, being responsible for your child's actions.
Big behind a screen, but that energy doesn't always stay virtual. And we have seen how that can get left real quick. People think posting threats online is harmless because it's just Twitter or just a DM, but prosecutors watch that. Screenshots exist, and the last thing you want is to end up in court because you couldn't log off. Meanwhile, the legal wheels are still turning. Olivia and Haley's preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 16th, and that's when we'll see what evidence sticks, what arguments they try to spin, and whether this turns into a trial or a plea deal. So stay locked in, because this next hearing, it could be a game changer. Now, I'd like to hear...
They're already in jail, so if you know what I'm saying, they're already guilty because of what they posted online. Never mind, Evie's past, you know what I'm saying? Even though she took full accountability of being a part of that game, but she's no longer in it. But we're talking about these bimbos these two bimbos who decided to crash out on her because they felt disrespected. So of course they're going to see a jail cell for the first time. So there's no getting out, there's no talking their way out of it, there's no white privilege. All I see is two white trash who decided to beat up another victim, two victims at that, because they felt disrespected. They felt the need to just record and put it on social media for clout and thinking that everybody is gonna take them seriously and give them attention, because that's literally all this is for attention, but for the wrong reasons at that. So at the end of the day, accountability is kryptonite, but these two, they finna learn today. So Anna, if you're watching this, keep us updated. We will be doing a reaction on this. And like I said, we all know how the justice system is nowadays. It's beyond broken as F. But yeah, it sucks out here. So I'm praying for Eve and the second victim, and hopefully they get the justice that they deserve. So let's see, the original video will be down below, and I'm holla at y'all.